I love this recording in progress thing. It just makes me so focused. Mary, I'm so excited to be talking to you today, but we've had this in the diary for a long, long time. And since then, you've actually changed roles, haven't you? Because when we first spoke, you were the pharmacy and education and training and workforce lead for medical optimization in the medical optimization team. So you've moved since. So why don't you introduce yourself to anybody watching Peer TV today and tell them what you were doing, what you're probably doing now, and how it correlates. But we will kind of push to what you were doing before. So over to you, Mary.
Yeah, sure. Lovely. Thank you so much for inviting me. And like I said, we've had this in the diary for some time, and I was really looking forward to having this conversation with you and sharing some of my passion for the pharmacy workforce, really. So yeah, my name's Mary, Mary Carter. I'm a pharmacy technician by profession, and I've actually worked in the NHS for 36 years, 34 of which have been as a pharmacy technician. So I kind of jokingly said, kind of, if you cut me in half, I say pharmacy technician all the way through me. It's kind of my lifelong career and passion. So with that, you know, I bring a passion for the whole pharmacy workforce, but obviously in particular for pharmacy technicians. And as you know, in recent years, we've seen more pharmacy technicians coming into primary care network roles under the additional roles reimbursement scheme. So for me, that, you know, getting that recognition of the pharmacy technician skill set and how they can contribute to patient care within PCNs was a real kind of moment for me as a pharmacy technician, kind of bringing that professional recognition to my peers and the workforce that I'm passionate about.
And Mary, I mean, 34 years, you just deserve a big clap in the NHS. That must have been quite something. But let me take you right back to why you wanted to be a pharmacy technician, because actually talk to us a bit about some of the roles that are in medicine optimization and why you chose pharmacy technician and how the roles have changed. I mean, like you said, in primary care, we love having pharmacists. So how has it changed over the 36 years that you've been in the department?
I know it's incredible, and I honestly don't know hand on heart where all of those years have gone, but I have seen such a change in the pharmacy technician profession over the years that I've been working in different roles. I think if I go back to why I chose to be a pharmacy technician, and it's interesting because I did actually choose to be a pharmacy technician, and it's one of those professions that a lot of people kind of fall into becoming a pharmacy technician. We see pharmacy technicians with lots of different backgrounds that have done lots of different jobs and things and kind of find their way into pharmacy. But for me, it was definitely combining that interest of science, and I wanted a role where I could combine that interest and passion for science with working with people. So pharmacy for me was something that, you know, gave me that career opportunity to be able to sort of combine those two interests. And I started off working as a student pharmacy technician in a hospital, and then that was kind of traditionally where the pharmacy technician roles were trained many years ago. But now, obviously, we see pharmacy technicians in community pharmacy, in primary care networks, in hospital, in community services, in prison pharmacy. You know, so the role has many opportunities, and I think one of the strengths of pharmacy technicians is that they have this kind of adaptable skill set that enables them to kind of, you know, bring their knowledge of medicines and you know, safe processes, etc., and bring that into any scope of practice where you know, support with medicines management and supporting patients with helping them to get the best out of their medicines. But yeah, I've worked across a lot of different scopes of pharmacy practice, and that variety has given me you know, real insight into the benefits of the roles of pharmacy technicians. And I think in terms of a profession, pharmacy technicians are still relatively in their infancy. When I started, my pharmacy technician training, pharmacy technicians weren't a regulated and registered workforce, and that only came along around about 2011. We became a registered profession, and I think for me that was a game changer in terms of that accountability and professional recognition that the workforce gained, and we're still kind of building on that recognition. You know, 11, 12 years on from professional registration, we're seeing the huge benefits that actually having a professionally regulated, accountable workforce in your organisation, and the benefits that brings to patient care.
Wow. I know when I spoke to you, Mary, a while ago, one of the things that stayed with me, and thank you for leaving that impression on me, was I had never come across a Mary before, not a Mary by name, but a Mary as in, you know, somebody doing the role that you were doing up until recently, at system level. And I thought that was really cool. So what made you decide to go into a role that would support us? Because obviously we really enjoyed that role, having your support in primary care. And as you know, we're huge champions of pharmatechs, because we've got our very own Ashley, if you're watching, hello, who's a pharmatech, and her pharmacy apprenticeship, but we have quite a few pharmatechs as well around. So we're quite passionate about the whole pharmacy cohort, really, plus the entire pharmacy team. But what made you decide to work at system level?
Do you know what? For me, it felt like the creation of integrated care boards and integrated care systems, for me, presented a huge opportunity for us to look at our pharmacy workforce through a different lens. You know, traditionally, pharmacy workforce have worked in their own silos, in their own kind of sectors of practice, be it community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, primary care pharmacy. And actually the evolution into integrated care systems presented a huge opportunity for us to kind of think, actually, how does that workforce work across those boundaries of practice? And for me, this role was about kind of integrating the pharmacy workforce across patient pathways and creating a workforce that is familiar and understands those transfer of care issues. So, for example, if you've got a pharmacy technician working in primary care, who also understands what happens within a community pharmacy, you can kind of break down some of those boundaries of practice and gain a greater understanding of how the patient moves between that care interface. And, you know, medicines don't stop within that sector of practice, do they? Medicines are moved across the care interface. And actually, for us as a pharmacy workforce, it's about how we can contribute to making that journey across the care interface, and how medicines transfer with the patient across that care interface, how we can make that process safer and more robust. Because we know that when patients move between care settings, that's the place where things are most likely to go wrong. So anything we can do from a workforce perspective to be able to join up that care pathway and understand those transfer of care issues. So yeah, I think integrated care system for me was about trying to create opportunities for pharmacy workforce to have roles that they want to stay in. So for me, it was about retention as well. We know that our pharmacy workforce move from different sectors of practice for one reason or another, if they're looking for greater work-life balance, etc. So, you know, if we can understand what our pharmacy workforce want from their roles at a system level, we can start to think about at a system level what those opportunities look like and how we can think about our workforce from a system perspective rather than a sector silo perspective. So for me, it was all about integration. I think it was about integrating pharmacy into those various sectors of practice, but then also kind of recognizing how we can integrate pharmacy and medicines optimization into those different care pathways at a system level rather than a sort of a single sector level. But it's a huge remit, as you know. It's about building those relationships, and that's part of that job that I really enjoyed was kind of bringing sectors of pharmacy practice together to actually talk to each other and understand what their workforce challenges are, and actually what are the enablers for us as a system to be able to support our pharmacy workforce, so that patients get the best out of those skills that they can offer.
And we have loved having you as well, and your input within primary care. One of the things that's always struck me, because as you know, I spent 20-something years, show my age, in the private commercial sector. But one of the things that surprised me coming into primary care is how difficult attraction of candidates can be. So if there's anybody out there that is thinking of, toying with, not too sure, what to do, but has keen interest in being a pharmacy technician, what would you say to them? How do they navigate the playground, so to say, and how do they find their feet once they've actually got into, let's just say, primary care, because of course we want them all in primary care, but how do they navigate the whole system of pharmacy technician, the world of pharmacy technicians?
Yeah, I think what's really exciting is from a pharmacy perspective and careers are the wide range of opportunities that there are to enter the pharmacy profession and be part of the pharmacy workforce. So, we have registered pharmacy professionals within primary care and healthcare, the wider healthcare system, obviously consisting of pharmacists who undertake a 4-year degree course and then 1-year foundation year training. So that's a kind of a graduate entry level to the profession. And pharmacy technicians can undertake a 2-year apprenticeship course, which, that's only come in the last sort of 3 years or so, that the pharmacy technicians can train as apprentices now. So that offers huge opportunities for employers to be able to access apprenticeship levy to pay for course costs, etc., and kind of opens up that opportunity to people to take on that as an apprenticeship route into a registered profession, which I think is really attractive for those people who perhaps don't want to go to university and have all of the associated student debt, etc., that during the cost of living crisis at the moment is people are particularly mindful of. And actually, being a pharmacy technician offers real opportunities, wide, diverse role and entry into a registered profession through an apprenticeship route. So I think in terms of opportunities, that's a big tick in the box for us to be able to create opportunities for people who want to become pharmacy technicians to access the training. And then we have our pharmacy support staff, and pharmacy support staff are as equally important as everybody else within the pharmacy team. And very often, particularly I think in community pharmacy, those dispensers and counter staff are the real kind of core members of that community pharmacy team that really know their patients, they know the neighborhood, they know how everything works, they keep all the engine running of the community pharmacy. So they're a really, really valuable asset to our pharmacy teams. And actually some of those individuals who experience pharmacy practice as an assistant, as a pharmacy assistant, will then go on to train to become a pharmacy technician. So you can kind of there are several routes into the profession, but there's also a way in which you can kind of encourage and grow your own, in terms of having people within your team that you actually identify may make a great pharmacy technician. There's ways in which you can kind of bring them onto the apprenticeship and train them to be a pharmacy technician. So I think there's that widening engagement piece is definitely evident there for pharmacy technician. But from a careers perspective, I think what we find is a lot of people know what a pharmacist is, but sometimes they're not so, they don't understand so much about the pharmacy technician profession and workforce. So I think we've got some work to do there around how we kind of promote and sell the opportunity of being a pharmacy technician.
Oh, I absolutely agree, which is why this conversation is so rich, and we kind of appreciate you for keeping the dates in the diary and talking to us, even though you've kind of moved on to a different aspect of the role. But like I said, it's interlinked. We appreciate you talking us through the different routes that one could actually find himself navigating in pharmacy. We appreciate you talking us through why system level working meant a lot to you and how you got into it. We'll always remember the 34 number. So well done on that. And appreciate you talking to us about retention, which is important, but also about the attraction, you know, how do we get people in? Great conversation, Mary. Thank you so much. Hopefully you'll come back and talk to us again, and we can dig deeper into what makes a great pharmacy technician. But we really appreciate your time, so thank you. But before you go, do you want to just tell us one or two things that that you enjoy about your role, just so that if there's anybody watching out there and they want to be a pharmacy technician, they can bear that in mind?
Wow, gosh, you put me on the spot there. I've got to mention the team that I work with, which is Pharmacy Workforce Development South. So PWDS is a team of, you know, dedicated innovators in pharmacy education and training. So we're based at the Bristol Royal Infirmary, and the team that I work with now are absolutely incredible, and really kind of are doing some great work to drive the profession forward. So big shout out to PWDS team. I think it's, for me at my career stage, the most rewarding thing is actually being able to support and promote the opportunities for pharmacy technicians for the future. I am creating pathways to support system-wide pharmacy technician training. So we have tri-sector apprenticeships across BNSSG for our pharmacy technician trainee apprentices. So we have 4 of those, and at the moment that it's so rewarding watching their progress through their apprenticeship. And for me, at my stage of my career, I feel like I'm kind of supporting the next generation. So kind of as I work out through the sort of latter years of my career, it's so rewarding to kind of, and exciting to be able to see the opportunities that are coming up for them, and, you know, and helping to pave the way for the future workforce. So I think that's where I am at the moment.
You are an awesome role model. We thank you for coming, and
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.